stop what you're doing. This weekend might be the moment a generation announced itself. An 18-year-old drafted in the last second set a club assist record, a 16-year-old scored a 100th minute winner away from home, and a 15-year-old came on, won a pen, and a 5-goal route. This isn't academy football. This is week 2 of the Premier League with 30 goals, 2 reds, 2 missed penalties, and a new stadium christened. Title hopefuls flex, relegation candidates stole points, and the league's teenagers took centre stage. Let's get straight into this. West Ham 1, Chelsea 5, Estêvão's arrival. Lucas Paqueta punished 18-year-old Estêvão for a sloppy touch and smashed it into the top corners of one of the goals of the weekend. But instead of hiding, the Brazilian responded by orchestrating the comeback. João Pedro equalized and then turned provider for Pedro Neto. Chelsea were 2-1 up when Estêvão produced a moment of quality. Bursting to the byline, he slid the ball to Enzo Fernandez for a tap-in, with the assist making him the youngest player ever to register a Premier League assist for Chelsea at 18 years and 120 days. He also registered 3 tackles, completed 2 out of 3 dribbles, highlighting the work rate and off-ball expectations demanded by Enzo Maresca. Chelsea powered on, with Caicedo and Jalaba scoring from corners to seal a 5-1 route. Maresca praised Estevão's display by reminding reporters that the opener came from his turnover, saying he needs to make mistakes to learn, and the performance showed how good he is and why he is here with us. It's a reminder that even wonder kids must improve. The 5-1 win came from 2.7 expected goals versus West Ham's 0.7, underlying Chelsea's clinical edge whilst limiting West Ham's counter-attacking threat. But if 18-year-olds are breaking club records, what happens when a 16-year-old enters the fray? Newcastle 2, Liverpool 3, Ngumoha's coming of age and the game of the weekend. Liverpool appeared in control, supposedly, when Gravenberch scored in the 35th minute with his strike outside the box, going into the bottom left corner. Hugo Ekitike, Liverpool's big money buy, scored in the first minute of the second half to give Liverpool the 2-0 lead away from home. Then came the twist no one expected. Newcastle's Anthony Gordon was sent off on the 45th plus first minute for a reckless lunge on Virgil van Dijk. 10-man Newcastle though refused to give up. Bruno started the fight back, curling one in from distance in the 57th minute, and William Osula heading home an equaliser in the 88th minute. St James's Park erupted. They thought they had managed a respectable fight back by securing a point against Liverpool, but Rio Ngumoha, he had different plans, and he entered himself in Liverpool folklore. The 16-year-old came on with instructions to attack the back post, and in the 10th minute of added time, he did exactly that. Mohamed Salah slid a pass across goal, and Ngumoha took one touch before curling in the far corner. The stadium fell silent except for the travelling support, as Ngumoha's late winner shocked the away fans, shocked Liverpool, and shocked the rest of the Premier League, as he became the youngest player to score a Premier League winner, breaking Wayne Rooney's record by just 1 day. Ngumoha's finish was so composed, so calm. It seemed as if he's been producing this moment week in, week out for the last 10 years in the Premier League. But the composure he produced is the headline, but the details matter. Ngumoha has showcased already in pre-season that this is a kid that has match-winning potential. This is a kid in the 1% across Europe. Arne Slot gets a lot of credit for being brave by putting this amount of pressure on a 16-year-old to change the game. But for Ngumoha, this isn't luck, this is by design, because he puts in hours and hours of work off the field. And after his controversial move, leaving Chelsea's academy to sign for Liverpool, there were suggestions that he had to be humble and he was jumping the gun. But when you're making a move like this to a club like Liverpool, it only means one thing: they think you got the potential to become their next superstar. Ngumoha dominated the headlines this weekend, and it will forever be a case of what if for Chelsea Football Club, as they've lost yet again. Did they prioritise foreign superstars over their own? Arsenal 5, Leeds 0. Dowman announces himself. The Emirates served up fireworks. Jurriën Timber headed in a Declan Rice corner, and Bukayo Saka smashed home on the stroke of half-time to put Arsenal 2-0 ahead. Early in the second half, Viktor Gyökeres sprinted onto a Ricardo Calafiori lofted pass and finished emphatically. Timber then bundled in a rebound for a second, becoming only the second Arsenal defender to register at least 3 goal involvements in a Prem game. And in stoppage time, Gyökeres completed his brace from the spot after 15-year-old Max Dowman won a pen. Dowman has made his first team debut at Arsenal at 15 years and 235 days, becoming just the 3rd player in a Prem game before turning 16. According to Arsenal's, Dowman has showcased no signs of nerves, and twice went close to scoring himself as he collected the pass, cut inside, and his shot just tipped over. Then he volleyed a free kick rebound wide. In stoppage time, his pace and trickery drew a foul from Anton Stack, allowing Gyökeres pressed to convert. Arteta said this is a kid that has zero hesitation and is so convinced at 15 he can go and deliver, which I have never witnessed in my life. Timber also praised him, calling him a joy to watch. Arsenal generated 2.8 expected goals, converting 5. They topped the early table and head to Anfield with momentum. Could we potentially see a Dowman vs Ngumoha battle? Regardless, the future of the national team looks absolutely unreal with the type of prospects this country is now producing. Crystal Palace 1, Forest 1. Saar vs Hudson-Odoi. At Selhurst Park, Palace coach Oliver Glasner emphasized wing play, and on the 37th minute, Daniel Munoz delivered a low cross for Ismaila Sarr to tap in, and after the break, Forest improved and equalized with Callum Hudson-Odoi collecting Dan Ndoye's pass and sweeping home. The match finished 1-1 despite Forest only having one shot on target from 9 attempts, and even though Palace carried the better moment, Forest were pretty economical with their play, and in total, a draw was very fair for both teams. Everton 2, Brighton 0. New grounds, old resilience. The Hill Dickinson Stadium hosted its first ever competitive match, and Everton gave fans a night to remember. New loan signing in Jack Grealish made his home debut for the Toffees, sliding across along the 6-yard box for Ndiaye to bundle in on the 23rd minute. Everton are looking pretty exciting with a focus now on offensive technical players as they combine to score the first goal in the new grounds history. Early in the second half, Grealish teed up James Garner to smash in from the top corner. Brighton dominated possession, fired 12 shots, but Jordan Pickford made 3 saves, then spectacularly denied Welbeck's 77th minute pen. Stats show that Brighton generated 2.4 expected versus Everton's 1.6, yet the Merseyside club prevailed through defensive organisation, ruthlessness, and devastating counter-attacking play. The symbolism can't be ignored. A new stadium, new star performers, and an old habit of defying statistics. Everton might be turning a page this season under David Moyes. Man City 0, Tottenham 2. Precision over possession. We now go to the Etihad, and one of the surprising results of the weekend went to Spurs. Spurs had to surrender possession to ensure their game plan worked against City, yet struck twice on the break with the devastating pace of Brennan Johnson tapping in from a rejuvenated Richarlison cutback and Joao Paulinho punishing stacked defending from a corner. The away side's defensive structure limited Haaland to scraps, and Thomas Frank is showcasing what Spurs missed out on under Postecoglou last season: organisation, a bit of structure, and a manager whose tactical acumen is up there with some of the league's very best. Thomas Frank made Brentford one of the most respected, hard-fought teams to play against, and his ingenuity with his different tactics he can turn to, how he empowers his players, his training methods, and his likability have currently made Spurs one of the surprising teams to watch out for this season. 19-year-old Lucas Bergvall entered late into the game. He completed every single pass and created 0.2 expected assists, continuing the theme of clubs now turning to youth talent to steer them forward. Spurs secured an incredible 3 points by playing direct, being tidy when it mattered, and being opportunistic at the right moments. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. Discipline really does matter. At the Vitality Stadium, Marcus Tavernier's early strike decided a cagey contest. In the 4th minute, he slotted home after smart work down the left, with Wolves captain Ntoti Gomez being sent off after just half-time for a last-man foul, leaving his side to chase the game with 10 men. The expected goals tell the story, with Bournemouth's 1.3 versus Wolves 0.5. Areola's team managed the match, preserving energy and rarely allowing Wolves into the danger areas. It wasn't a flashy performance, it didn't have to be. Wolves showed their hands, gave Bournemouth the advantage, and they prioritised what could be a very important 3 points to secure at this stage of the season. Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0. Efficiency beats dominance. Villa boss and Unai Emery watched his side dominate possession with 76% of the ball and outshoot Brentford 17-9, yet they left with nothing. The only goal arrived on the 12th minute when big money signing and Dango Utara collected a loose ball and drove a low shot past Emiliano Martinez. Brentford's expected goals matched Villa's 1.2 each, but Brentford were clinical and relied on goalkeeper and Keller to save both Villa shots on target from great areas. The win wasn't a beautiful example of the game, but sometimes structure and finishing are enough to get the results and get the job done in the league. Burnley 2, Sunderland 0. The game between the newly promoted teams led to Burnley being the victors. Burnley emphasised controlled chaos, surprising many Prem fans after Sunderland absolutely battered West Ham in game week 1. After a scoreless first half, Josh Cullen ghosted in the box to turn in a Jadon Anthony cross in the 47th minute, and later on the roles reversed, with Cullen threading a pass behind the defence and Jadon Anthony finishing calmly. The pair combined for both goals, and Burnley scored with 2 of their 7 shots on target, while Sunderland just 1 shot on target from 9. Burnley accumulated only 1 expected goal, but scored twice, illustrating clinical finishing, with with predicted relegation rivals losing elsewhere, those points may prove to be absolutely invaluable, as it's expected that the relegation battle this season may be one of the tightest and most tense battles we've seen in recent memory. Fulham won, Man United won, penalties, own goals, and redemption. At Craven Cottage, United had the chance to seize control when Bruno Fernandes won a 38th minute penalty but dragged it wide. In the opening half, United showed their purpose and their drive on the counter-attack, with Matheus Cunha causing many issues and problems for Fulham. However, shortly after the break, Rodrigo Muniz, last week's late match equaliser against Brighton, inadvertently turned a corner into his own net. United fans may have sensed relief, yet the Red Devils failed to secure the points because substitute Emil Smith-Rowe ghosted into the box on the 73rd minute and guided Alex Iwobi's cross into the far corner. Fulham outshot United 13-9 and had more possession of the ball. The draw highlighted both teams' fragilities though, but highlighted more surrounding Man United, with players such as Kobbie Mainoo not entering the fray, with concerns and question marks around the quality of the midfield, and bigger concerns around whether there's been much improvement under their coach in Amorim. Fulham fans will be very happy with this point to come back to secure it, but for United fans, the start to the season isn't inspiring as much confidence as they originally hoped. So, what have we learned in match week 2 of the Premier League? Teenage explosion. This weekend's narratives were driven by teenagers. Estêvão's assist record at 18 for Chelsea, Dowman's fearless debut and penalty win at 15, and Ngumoha's record-breaking winner at just 16 years old shows that clubs are not just blooding youngsters, but now trusting them in the decisive moments. Is this starting to signal a generational shift where managers like Maresca, Arteta, Slot value raw talent over experience when it comes to providing the cutting edge against their opponents? 2. Clinical finishing versus expected goals. Several teams defied their XG models, with Chelsea scoring 5 from 2.7, Burnley scoring twice from 1, while Brighton failed to score from 2.4 expected goals. Efficiency in the books, not just chance creation, separated the winners from the losers. 3. Set pieces continue to be important. Chelsea, Arsenal, Burnley all scored multiple goals from corners or crosses in a league of tactical nuance. It does seem like dead ball routines remain one of the most decisive opportunities to get an advantage against your opposition. And finally, discipline and big moments, with red cards for Anthony Gordon and Totti Gomez changing the games against their teams. Penalty misses by Bruno and Danny Welbeck cost points. When margins are thin, composure becomes absolutely paramount. So that's a wrap, my friends. Week 2 belongs to the kids. Chelsea's new winger bounced back from an error. Arsenal's 15-year-old danced to the spotlight, and Liverpool's 16-year-old wrote his name into Premier League folklore. If this is the sample, the season's story is clear. The league's getting younger, braver, and colder in the biggest moments. And next week, Arsenal head to Anfield with both form and fresh faces. Let's buckle up for game week 3. I'm Nini FC. This is what we learned in the Premier League week 2, and I hope to see you guys next week. All the biggest breakdowns after another exciting Premier League weekend.